You're hard stuck because you keep picking the same crappy agents every game. Here's the 7 best duos to rank up with in Valorant right now. Not only have we analyzed all the data to find these sleeper OP picks, but I'm also sharing the secret sauce for why these duos work and how to play them. We're covering every map and we've got maximum variety of agents and role combos. So there's no doubt there's going to be an agent for you and your duo. Now we're not here to put socks on caterpillars, so let's dive right in. We're mixing up the map order for this video because I want to start with Bind, where Yoru and Waylay are dominating together. And this is thanks to the fact that they are the 2 best agents for abusing the teleporters on Bind. Yoru can put your opponents into a state of confusion when he uses the teleporter. You have literally no idea where he is anymore. And Waylay is the best dive buddy for Yoru.
Hey, best buddy.
The Yoru-Waylay combo on entry is insane. Yoru's flash is perfect for Waylay to dive into sight, and because Waylay's making so much noise and drawing so much attention, Yoru can stick his gate crash on entry as well. But it's not only sight that you can dive through the teleporters together to make aggressive plays. Yoru and Waylay on Bind have the highest carry potential of any agent duo in the game because they can do everything, everywhere, all at once. All you need to do is play together and this map will be a breeze.
Actually, Mr. Stackmandu, Breeze isn't in the rotation right now.
And thank the Valorant gods for that. Let's turn our attention now over to Corrode, where we're going to be looking at one of the most synergistic agent combos in the game, Chamber and Viper. Ever since Chamber's release, they've been a perfect pairing. This does come with the caveat that Viper is going to play the flex second controller role, so you need a teammate to pick Glove or another controller first. But if you get the opportunity, Chamber and Viper is synergized so well together, and Corrode is a strong map for both of them individually regardless. Individually, both Chamber and Viper have a less traditional approach to their role, and they lack some of the tools that you would normally need that role to bring. But if you bring them both together and mix and match their kits, they become greater than the sum of their parts. Chamber doesn't have a lot of stalling utility. He's obviously much more gun orientated and can shut down pushes via taking heads off, but he's much more susceptible to being rushed and relies on aggressive duels early. And it can be tough to play without an anchor because that's what your Sentinel player normally provides. Viper perfectly fills this gap because yes, she's a controller, but she actually thrives as an anchor. The only thing she's missing is flank watch, which Chamber can provide for her. See, aren't they a match made in heaven?
Viper, you must let me take you out sometime.
Chamber, I would rather drink my own poison.
So here's the simple strategy that your ranked teammates can follow. On attack, Viper wall A like this and play in a 4-1 setup. Chamber trip for B and play in mid to catch rotate or punish mid pushes. If you see nothing, you can late lurk through mid. The alternate setup is to use Viper wall in mid and play in mid as a pack to take mid control, which is so important on Corrode. And Chamber play for extremity control. Go trip A if you want to play B and trip B if you want to play A. Now you have a trip on each side of the map, just one of those trips can move and maybe has an operator and can click enemies in the head. Use the information that Chamber gets to dictate which site you want to go to. On defense, Viper plays as your site anchor. Use your orb and your molly to stall, plus set up your wall to go across mid. Chamber can play aggressively to contest mid with his rendezvous, and by using this setup and pathing in the pre-round, you can still trip either site, then make it back to mid for the start of the round. And of course, you can double up and play together. Here's a nasty play that can get you an easy win on pistol or versus anti-eco. Viper, throw your snake bite, which is going to make anyone who touches it vulnerable. Anybody without armor who's vulnerable will die to 1 shot to the body with Headhunter. And if they have light armor, it's still only 1 shot to the body with Headhunter plus 1 ghost body shot. Other pairings that are great with Viper are Vice and Clove. So let me know if you want to see them in the next update. And if you've learned something so far, hit that like button and subscribe if you want to stay up to date with the meta, but not only up to date, how to play in the meta. Next, let's move on to Lotus, which is another map that has carry potential for Viper plus Clove or Viper plus Vice. If you already have a Clove, can absolutely dominate. But I don't want to talk about Viper right now. I want to talk about Deadlock. That's a double senti setup, so who's going to play who? Well, Vice is going to play more like your traditional Sentinel in this pairing, and Deadlock is going to play in the flex role. So if your duo likes to push up and fight with characters like Breach, get them to try out Deadlock. Deadlock's job on defense is to bring support across the whole map. Your standard setup will look like this. Both of you run to C at the start of the round. Vice, place your setup as you normally would. Thorns on the ground, flash on sight, or flash out in mound if you want to fight and you're feeling aggressive. Put your shear on the choke point or use it to divide the site in half. But if you've got pesky lurkers on the attack team, consider shearing B site instead. Deadlock, when you arrive at C, it's a short pit stop. You're just putting a sonic sensor down wherever Vice wants to play off of it. Then move those little legs and get yourself to A. Path through B site, drop a sonic sensor on B site entry if you want. But don't compromise Optimize your timing. You need to get back to stairs in time. From the C-link entrance into B, it takes you 10 seconds to run to the A barrier. You should arrive with moments to spare so you can get your net out and be ready to run down and fight to secure rock and rubble. After the initial engagement, you can use barrier mesh to secure the area too. And the secret sauce is to throw it right here, so on your side, you can still jump up on top of rock, but the attackers don't have access to it. Now you can hold this super forward line or even choose to flank. On attack, both Vice and Deadlock are handy to push with. GravNet makes any aggressive defenders pushing out sitting ducks for the first engagement, and because everyone's normally throwing a bunch of utility, they're not ready to shoot out arc rows. And because Lotus is a map with 3 sites, you have an extra option to choose from. It's easy to avoid heavily defended sites and get onto empty ones where you have an insane amount of stalling in the post plant. Jumping across the sunset now, and we're going to double up on one of our previous agents. Vice is getting a second pairing. Vice plus Fade is putting up numbers right now, and they have a tremendous amount of synergy that isn't obvious at first. It's that you can use arc rows and haunt together to make them both harder to shoot out at the same time. This is fantastic for flooding out on execs, and it's also incredibly useful in A main. You can check for defenders in elbow with this haunt whilst also flashing a lane at the same time. But you can also combo them together if you want to rush into one of those sides in particular. But the tech that makes Fade and Vice incredibly good as a duo is Razorvine plus Seize. Razorvine's like a molly in that you can use it to stall, but it only damages people if they move. And if you're trying to hold sight, you smoke off the attackers, pop Razorvine, attackers can just sit in the smoke, not take any damage. But if you throw a Seize, you can make people dance. Seize forces you to move to its landing point. So if you throw a Seize at the front of the smoke, they can't run away because they'll be slowed and take damage, but they're going to get destroyed if they get hit by Seize because it's going to force them to move through the Razorvine as they try and fight against the tether, and the tether can even drag them out of the front of the smoke. Oh yeah, and it decays them. What is this ability? Before they know it, they're dead because they lose 75 to decay, then all of the damage they're forced to take from moving through Razorvines. These 2 agents are just so stupidly good. All right, let's move over to Abyss now, and we've had some pretty conventional kind of pairings, but this next one might actually shock you. Astra, Clove. Sounds hella weird, right? Well, that's because it is. I'm going to show you the essentials for this duo because there's specific tech on Abyss that makes this work. First thing for anyone playing Astra is you need to know default dissipate locations. Now, conditioning isn't going to get as much value in ranked, but what you can do is stop your teammates from dying to ops all the time. Just simply put your star down, recall it, swing onto the angle together while your smoke pops. As it dissipates, you're all there ready to fire at the enemy. And Astra has a major advantage on Abyss by being able to smoke from wherever she wants. So your job is to play safe as an extremity anchor and use your stars when your duo calls for them. Solo Astra in ranked is a pain in the ass because nobody ever comms. But you have a duo who has a voice. You talk to them. Use that. And because you have a Clove, you don't have to be so meticulous with your smoke management. So you can play like this artillery style of Astra where you're dropping stuns and grav wells all across the map for wherever your team's fighting. And then your Clove player can push up with your duelist and fight with those stars. If Clove dies, you've still got smokes for that site. If they go to the other site, Astra setups on B are insane. Trying to push up B ramp against an Astra is hell. And like we mentioned in our recent Abyss strategy guide, turtle smokes on Abyss's B site are crazy good. And the best part is now you have regular smokes and still have enough resources to play with turtle smokes, so you don't have to make the decision to play with one or the other. Set up Clove on top gen where they can look for an aggressive angle, and then as the attackers push, call for Astra to pop the smoke on top gen so Clove can play in it. And on attack, you play for heavy mid control, using Clove smokes top mid and then still having Astra smokes for exec. Mid control gives you a huge advantage because if you force defenders to have to rotate through spawn, it takes forever. If you're playing in a trio, adding Sova into this combination elevates it even further, and you can even get one-hit KOs with metal plus shock dart combos. Now, out of the depths of the Abyss and flying high into Ascent, these are 2 agents that you will see a lot of on Ascent. Speaking of Sova, did you know that he is the king of Ascent? And that makes Phoenix the fresh prince. As a duo, you can rule over Ascent. They play off each other so well. Sova's recon is an essential tool on Ascent, and Phoenix has so many ways to get extra value out of it. On exec, flash plus recon at the same time, so recon can't be shot, but before you exec, there's another simple combo where you can molly plus shock dart to clear dangerous and ready corners like logs or bricks. On defense, use your wall plus recon to stall and get spam kills, or you can even trap orbs with shock and molly. And that brings us to our final map, Haven. Honestly, Haven's meta is so balanced right now. Even the popular low ELO stompers perform less well here. In high ELO, Jet plus Neon absolutely destroy people, but I want to give you a broken strategy that is insanely good in high ELO, but so simple to carry with in any ELO. And while this combo is particularly good on Haven, you can use this on any map as well. And the duo involved is ISO plus Skye. The setup is simple. Skye is a do-it-all initiator on Haven, so you don't have to rely on your teammates for support, and ISO is great on Haven because he can counter ops and is great at scaling long lanes. Haven generally has smaller fights rather than larger ones, so you can get more value out of snowballing your shield. Round to round, you'll follow the standard initiator duelist pattern. Get info, clear corners, flash and swing, etc. But where this combo starts getting abusive is with ISO's ult. And Skye is the single best agent in the game for finding ISO targets. Option number 1, Trailblazer. You can cover a huge amount of ground with this, and it gives you true vision, so you know exactly where they're gonna be. As soon as Skye finds someone, ISO, pop your shield and ult. If you don't find anything with Dog, then you still have 2 flashes that you can use to get info from. If Skye's flash hits someone, it gives a different audio cue. It only gives you Boolean info, but if you're crafty with where you place your flashes, you can manipulate the space in which someone will get flashed by your bird. Remember, you're not trying to actually flash them. You're just trying to find out where they are so ISO can take them to the Shadow Realm. And ISO's ult is big enough that if you flash in smaller pockets of space, ISO can pretty easily make sure his ult hits. Option 3 is the easiest one. Just ult plus ult. Seekers will take you straight to your nearest 3 targets, so if ISO misses this ult, you can flame him in all chat. And with all of this dueling that ISO's doing, Skye can keep topping up ISO's health, allowing him to snowball round after round after round with shield after shield after shield. Now, I've got one little tip for you right at the end, so don't click away just yet. I just wanted to say thank you for watching, especially if you made it this far. Please click the subscribe button. Press like if this video was helpful. Let me know if there's any honorable mentions that piqued your interest and you'd like me to see them covered in the next duo guide. And for that final tip, the most important thing about playing with a duo is to play with each other. There's no point in watching a video like this and duo queuing if you're not going to impact each other's rounds. That doesn't have to be standing right next to each other. It can be in a macro sense as well. And plus, playing with someone is way more fun. Check out our other recent videos and we'll see you next time.